threads.
Please do.
What do you want people to take away as they watch you on the new season?
That's a really good question. You know, I just want people to see a different side of New York City. And look, I know Alex showed Brooklyn back in the day, but Brooklyn has changed drastically. You know, so many people live in Brooklyn now. It's a different vibe than what it was in the past. It's vibrant, it's lively. And I am someone who grew up in Brooklyn. I think people look at me and automatically judge my photos because I don't smile too much or I don't do this. But at the end of the day, I'm actually really funny. So I think.
As soon as you walked in, I was like, okay, I'm going to love her.
And
I'm not just saying that. I don't say that to everyone.
I have a bubbly
like,
personality, but when you look at my photos on Instagram, I curate them in a way that I kind of just look like I'm just a huge bitch. But really, I'm not. And Brooklyn is just a great place. It's a place that raised me. I grew up there, and I've really watched it evolve over the years. So I'm going to show a little of who I am and what that looks like. So I'm actually very excited to show people me beyond the social media handles.
This is the first time we are seeing a Brooklyn, New York housewife since Alex McCord.
Yes.
Are you going to be labeled the Alex McCord of season 14?
I feel like people already are doing it.
You do?
Yeah. Some people are reaching out to me and like, the only Brooklyn I know is Alex. And I was like, come on.
There's more,
There's
right?
more to that. There's more to this than just Alex. Like, she's not the only person who lives in Brooklyn.
No. Who do you feel like from the first whole incarnation? I mean, you could add anyone. Like, do you feel, who would you associate with the most? Is it Bethenny? I mean...
I like Bethenny. I mean, I follow Bethenny on TikTok. I think she speaks her mind. She's funny. I like watching her go through all her luggage. You know, she does
her makeup tutorials.
Yeah,
now.
her makeup, and she's constantly like, yuck, this I don't like, this. She's in her own world, you know, and you can't hate on someone she's just living life.
She is living
and
life.
I'm here to live life.
I'm here to live life too, but I mean, I think that's good because, like, I know Jenna's in the West Village, and we have, I think it's Erin who's in Tribeca, or
Brynn is in West Village, Jenna is in Soho, Ubah is on
Upper West.
Yeah, Central Park.
Chelsea for Jessel.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that, I think, in and of itself, like, for people that don't live here, you know, it's not a bunch of Upper East Siders. I think that, in and of, I'm sure they went out of their way to make sure of that, but I think that's great.
It's really great that we all live in different places.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a trek when someone wants to do something in their house, especially if it's me, and I'm like, who wants to come to Brooklyn? And, you know, everyone has to trickle on down, but
you get more space as you made it clear. I listen,
do.
and you got all that white. You love a good white.
I do.
You don't you?
I do, but my kids are scared to death to get it dirty, so we're good here.
Listen, I'm all about gray on white. Like, I like, my home is like every shade of gray and then white. So I'm kind of right there with a little pop of color. That's
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Just a little accent of color. Like, here's a splash. Yeah, there's nothing. It's all good.
I'm a very laid back person in the world. Like, I don't care if you're an hour late to me. Like, I'm like, whatever. But I do run a tight ship at home for me, myself, and I. I'm like one of those where it's like, shoes off, you could eat off the floor.
Same.
I'm like a crazy person in my house.
Same.
Like, something happened to me. I don't know when this happened, but people that know me know, like, there's a lot of rules if you come to this.
No, I think that, let's talk about this for a second. Shoes need to come off. This is New York City. We take the train.
100%.
We walk around. Like, the ground is disgusting. When you walk in someone's house, immediately take your shoes off.
Yes.
I don't care if you need to go get a pedicure before or get some clean socks. Just be prepared. If you're going to someone's house, you need to take your shoes off.
I have people come to stay with me in the Hamptons, and I literally am like, listen, with all due respect, I'm going to now text you like 6 rules, and they're like, are you insane? And I'm like, it's going to be a great weekend. We're going to have a great time. You just have to follow 6 very short rules.
Just like
shoes is like at the, you know, you can't smoke, and then go smoke wherever you want. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm not
there's
judging
definitely
you. You
no
can't smoke in
smoking.
the house. Yeah, like, just these are some rules that I would ask of anyone. You know?
I'm with you on these.
Yeah.
I'm going to abide by these rules.
Like, no shoes, no.
Shoes in the house are just gross. I'm sorry, guys.
I mean, I love red wine. We should probably be careful with red wine.
I won't do, at my upstate house, I won't do red wine in my living room. No one's allowed.
I mean, I totally agree.
Okay, I'm glad we're here. We're on the same page here.
Who out of your castmates was kind of shocked you the most? Like, as you started to get to know this group of ladies, like, who shocked you the most? Again, I've watched the first 3 episodes.
Brynn shocked me the most.
Why?
She just, Brynn and I were close, but she just getting to know her a little bit more. She's just a fun time. She's a little bit crazy.
She's a fun time. I mean, she claims that she's Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah, she's a little crazy.
That she's that she's a future trophy wife.
She's looking to be a stay-at-home wife.
She's looking to be a stay-at-home wife. So she's putting it all out there.
Yeah.
Is she really ready to settle down?
I think so. I think she's on the prowl.
Who would anyone famous, like if you could just think of, like who would you think would be a good fit for Brynn?
I don't know. Like you just have to be just as crazy as Brynn is.
Someone with a lot of money, maybe?
Yeah, someone has to be, their pockets need to be deep. Like the pockets need to be so high she can stand on it.
I think she would love that, right?
Yeah, I think it would be ideal for her.
That would be ideal for her. What about, we've seen Scary Island and Cartagena. We saw a bunch of Real Housewives of New York, almost lose their life in a boat. We saw, like, Luann teach us about being cool and not uncool.
Not uncool.
Right? We've seen, Ramona screaming to take a Xanax. Like, these trips that these Real Housewives of New York have been on, like, were you anxious to go on the girls' trip this year?
You know what? This year was filled with, we're rolling off COVID and so many other things. I was actually dying to go on a vacation.
You were?
Yeah, I didn't have any, like, anxiety or reservations about it whatsoever. Like, I could not wait to get on a trip. However, when you are on a trip with a bunch of ladies, you just need to know and you're all staying together, everyone's personality is so different. Our group is completely different from one another. There's no one who's just alike.
Totally.
So that was interesting to do that for a good 5-6 days of just all get us like going in.
Totally.
Yeah, it wasn't all fun. There were moments where I was like, you need to get back off and just get out of my face. Like, we all need some space here.
You're like, please back off.
Please, please.
We did see, I think it was you in the trailer, just for everyone who hasn't seen the first 3 episodes, where it comes up that, Jenna didn't travel with you guys. She took, and you said you thought it was because she wanted to take a first-class flight. Then there was this minute. Listen, I really watched over here, Sai. I'm not just giving you lip service just because you're here today. Then she, there was this moment where she left to go to her own house or a different house, and I think somebody said it was because it was at the beach and had a beach view. And I mean, does Jenna Lyons think she's above the rest of you?
I don't know. It's not that she thinks she's above the rest of us. Jenna just has a different way of operating. Jenna's not used to being in girl groups. It's not her thing. She likes her space. She likes to be alone. She's been very vocal about it. She doesn't typically have girlfriends like this where she hangs out in these types of groups, which I find bizarre. I mean, I'm a girl's girl, so I love to be around my girls at all times.
Totally.
And then, flying first class, I guess some people have their preferences. Of course, we would all love to fly first class, but there was no first class ticket available that day. So why can't we all just fly comfort as a group?
When I need to go and it's this certain time, I'm like, I just care about getting there. This is literally the most important thing.
It's a 3-hour flight.
We got it right.
It was a 3-hour flight.
Yeah.
But, some people have their preferences, and Jenna wanted to be in first class, so she left us.
She did.